All right, all right. Good morning, everyone. I am Lady Malinda Crutchfield, direct to the amazing Andrew Jimenez, Jacob Pogue, Marshall Whale in hierarchy, and so blessed to be so. Oh my goodness. And Mr. Jim Larson, you know I love you, man. Thank you for the opportunity to share this morning. I am honored and very grateful. And just God bless you, honey. To my wonderful husband, Rev, he's in the background listening, y'all. Thank you for being by my side the entire time of this journey. You had my back, my front, and everything else. I love you. To our brand new agency. Yay! The Crutchfield Crusaders. We are so blessed. Oh gosh, I love you all and I appreciate you so very much. Thank you for riding with us, okay? I appreciate you. So listen, this morning, I'd like to talk about, kind of Andrew kind of alluded to it, but I'd like to talk about, a very sensitive area that some of you may be dealing with as well in another way. After all, there's nothing new under the sun, or if my favorite book says. So triggers, triggers that interrupt destiny. That's what I want to talk about today. Triggers that interrupt destiny. I want to confront what's holding you back. Okay? So let's talk about triggers. A trigger it can derail your focus, your faith, and even your future. A trigger is something that can affect your emotional state of mind significantly. And it will literally yank you out of your present moment. And I've come to realize that this has hindered some of my progress here at Symmetry over the years. It could be hindering you too. I'm not sure. But have you ever had an experience? 1 minute you're fine, and the next minute, because of a sound, a smell, a memory, whatever it may be, you're right back in the place of pain. How many of you have ever been going about your day, just bam, all of a sudden something hits you and you're back in a moment that you thought you were over? If that's you, put a one in the chat. I definitely want to see those ones. Yep, look at that. Oh my gosh. It's real. It's real. It's a trigger. And triggers can be small, but have a big impact on your life. Triggers will sneak up on you while you're doing something fun. I mean, you're perfectly fine. You're laughing, you're working, you're celebrating, and suddenly a memory will just come up. A certain song will play, or you'll catch that familiar scent, and then instantly you're somewhere else emotionally. So now it's literally impacting your emotional health. It's affecting your productivity, and it's even affecting your relationships. And I'm telling you, triggers don't just touch our emotions, they can stop us from moving forward towards our destiny. And here's the thing, some people try to avoid triggers, but when you avoid triggers, you also avoid your healing. You can't conquer what you don't confront. And it's so important to face them by reframing them and giving them a new language so they'll no longer dictate like who you are and how you respond to things. And I'm already planning and preparing for how I'm going to address my next trigger. Let me tell you about mine real quick. Andrew kind of shared a little bit. My personal trigger since my breast cancer journey, I've had to have those CT scans and bone scans and mammograms and all these things every 6 months to check to see if the cancer has returned. That scan has been one of my biggest triggers for 5.5 years. Every single time it paralyzed me. The week before the scan, I'd be frozen in fear. My production would stop, no sales. And then the week after, while I'm waiting on the results, because you got to wait a week for the results, I'd be stuck in anxiety. So 2 whole weeks every 6 months gone. This just happened over the last 2 weeks. And guess what? My production has suffered tremendously. So my wonderful mentor, Andrew Jimenez, just love him so much. He has actually watched me walk through this cycle for years. And just a few days ago, we had a discussion and it was deep. And I had to admit this is a pattern. And I finally said, enough is enough. I can't keep making my process my prison. So Andrew encouraged me to shift my focus, find some activities that will pull my mind away from the fear, anxiety, and worry. And we started reframing the trauma. So this coming year, I decided to confront it differently. January scans will not control. This time, I'm going to control my own responses. This trauma did not cancel God's plan for my life. I'm going to make this agony my opportunity. I am going to shift, okay? So, whatever happened to you in your past, whatever the loss, the trauma, the betrayal, the hurt, it didn't change what God has for you right now. So, don't avoid your healing. So, while you're standing in that pain, let God rescue you. I'm telling you. And I'm so grateful that Andrew took the time to help me pay attention to the pattern. You know, that's love. He cares enough to say, you know what, this is what's happening. So I encourage you to take back the pieces of yourself that were stolen from these triggers. Take back the power that was hindering you and your production, or whatever is hindering your relationship, whatever. What I know now that I didn't know then is this. My trigger wasn't just meant to hurt me, it was meant to heal me as well. So to make me stronger, I had to sit in it. And now that he's helped me, I'm so grateful. I have to resist the urge to get stuck in fear, doubt, anxiety, and worry. The enemy wants me to focus on what could go wrong. But God wants me to use that moment to remind me of his promises. He's going to propel me forward in the midst of it all. So I'm excited now that I know what I know. So let me tell you how to reset. All right? Y'all ready to reset? Put reset in the thing if you're ready to reset. So listen, when your computer freezes and the tech support people say, press control, alt, delete. Everybody, y'all remember that? They said press control, alt, delete to reset everything, right? That's exactly what you need to do when you feel stuck in a trigger. Control, alt, delete. Put that in the chat. Control, alt, delete. Control your mindset. You can control your thoughts by replacing them. And it's impossible to have a negative thought if you're focused on gratitude, right? Try it. Gratitude will totally erase the negative thought that you have. So that's the control part of the control, alt, delete. The alt is alternative. Alternate your approach. If you've been handling it one way and it's not working, switch it up by creating a proactive plan for yourself. A proactive action, something that will take you there. Okay? You'll have your own. I have mine. You'll have your own. I was talking to my huddle the other day. I'm like, what do y'all do when you feel stuck, like you don't feel like dialing? What do you do? What do you listen to? And we ended up saying things like, okay, well, listen to some good music, read something good. I turn on Les Brown. You got to be hungry. I'll turn him on. Or I'll turn on Art Williams, you just do it and do it and do it. And those will kind of snatch me back if I'm like stuck with worrying about dialing. It'll get me right back on track. So, all right. So that was the act, alt. And now the delete. Delete fear, doubt, anxiety, worry. or whatever emotion is holding you hostage. Okay? Stop focusing on what could go wrong. Replace it with faith, hope, and victory. Expect to be victorious. Expect the great. Regret looks back, worry looks around, hope looks ahead, but faith looks up. So keep looking up to where your help comes from. That's what I did. Okay? So that simple shift is going to help you break that mental freeze and get you back on track. All right? So listen, team, this is an invitation to grow, to change your perspective, to get better. Don't let what happened back then rob you of what God has for you today, right now. It's time to confront that thing, reset, and move towards your destiny. I'm here for you all day long and I'm praying for you. So let's go, y'all. That's all I have, Jen.
It's my favorite part of every call. You guys know this by now. My favorite part is when someone just drops truth. I would get so stuck in triggers. And for me, it would be one little thing that brought up my insecurity. It was always like, guys, I didn't know I was going to win here. I wanted to believe it so bad, but when I came back here, the only thing I had in my track record was a freaking failure. Like most of y'all, you're still in your first try, so you're still uncovering. This was my second. I already had failure. I already had proof and evidence that I couldn't do this. And so it was so easy for me from a decline to a charge back to anything to have that little, are you really going to do it again? You going to quit again? Do you really have what it takes? And I'll tell you, when I learned that would eat my lunch for 2 weeks. I'd get in my feels, I'd get in depression. And then I learned how to control that where it would only be a few days. And then I learned how to control it where it was maybe 1 day. And guys, I'm going to be so real with you. The voice never goes away. But now I give it about 17 seconds. And then we back in the game. The idea that you're going to get over it completely or you got to beat it completely, that's not real. You're going to be haunted by that. You just got to figure out how to control, delete that. It's good, man. It was a really, really good message. Andrew, you want to add anything in here?
I'm glad you took up because I was choked up earlier. I was like, I can't even get some words out. The Melinda, just going through like what you redefined, all these things, and like the last time it came up, like you got production done. And the same things too when you knew that you had a lot of things you love. She loves going back and seeing all the kids and grandbabies, all their graduations are happening, and travel was another one where she's like, okay, I got to really try to get it done. Well, she would white knuckle the business like a steering wheel, right? And you would try so hard to get something done in the short period of time, and sometimes it would like not shape up and beat herself up over it. And this last time that she went, not the case. She broke like 3 grand or something like that while she was on traveling over the 4th of July. Five. There you go. So it's like it's these little things to watch people grow. Guys, there was a really great TED Talk I watched one time. If you ever want to go see this, I recommend you do it. It's just about redefining stress. And basically, she just talks about how making stress your friend. It's kind of the same mentality, redefining the trigger. I'll give you a very basic example. People all around the world, billionaires to athletes to everyday moms and single moms that I like my mom, I tell her every day, I apologize for being a brat that I was back in the day, you know. But I can say this is that we all deal with stress. How is it that other people are able to move themselves through it while other people find it debilitating? It truly is. Think of it this way. Stress is your body preparing you to handle the situation, and use that as your power, not as something that brings the anxiety and debilitation to keep you from being able to get it. The stress, that feeling, that compression, that's saying, hey, release me. I'm ready to go, not cripple and shrink.
Yeah. So good. All right, guys. Breakout rooms are open.
Thank you.